Alright, it's Origins, day 2, and we're playing Cthulhu Madness. Let's see. Alright, the rules tell me that as the host of the game, I bring toys and present a problem. So here are our toys, and this is a Lovecraft horror story set in Boston. Have any of you been to Boston before? Okay, if you did, you would bring in all the local knowledge you had. I'm from Indiana. I've not been to Boston, but you know, whatever. Now, the problem is there are a group of people who we're going to call the crazies, and they were involved in some strange experiment that happened at MIT right here. All that area is Massachusetts Institute of Technology, so we know they must be evil because it's technology. Now, the crazies are the guy with the gun to his head, and all the figures are named, so he's got named Vincent. This guy down here in the straitjacket, his name is Renfield. This woman with the knife, Sarah Michelle. And down there, the little girl. She looks cute. Don't be fooled. Now, the crazies have escaped, but before they left, they all said the same thing. It is coming. In that ominous way, and then they ran away screaming. And they're now wandering around in the streets. So, we have two problems. First, we need to round up the crazies and get them back to safety somewhere. And what is it? So, it says here, you play by telling a story, and the game ends when the problem is solved. So you now have a problem, and there are no sides. The players work together to tell the story. You play the game by picking a toy and saying what happens. You can move toys and make sound effects as you play. So, is perfectly okay to do. I know it's childish, but you know, it's a game called Toys. Generally, figures move a handstand, but don't worry about that. Move them as far as you want to tell the story you want to tell. Other players can add to that or change it. So if you say one thing, like he moves here, and you say, no he doesn't, he moves somewhere else, you overwrite what he said. Now, you might not like that, so you could invoke the last rule of the game, which is roll for it. You would roll 2 6-sided dice. If you roll 6 or less, what you said does not happen and cannot happen in this game. If you roll 7 or better, it happens and cannot be changed. So it settles the matter once and for all. We do not have to roll the dice at all in this game. In fact, in the last game, we did not roll the dice but once. So you only roll when you have a real issue. Beyond that, you now know all the rules of the game. So let's get started. This first time, I'm going to take you around the table and just have you pick a place and tell us what happens. But after that, there is no order of play. You jump in when you have an idea, and the only rule is let somebody else have a say before you say something else. So pick a toy. And she's up there at the Bunker Hill Community College. She is, oh, by the way, these guys who are not crazies are investigators. Her, him, Jimmy down here, and Greta over there in the theater district.
Okay. Let's say Betty is investigating the problem, and in order to do so, she takes a trip over to the... I just saw it. Are the like bugs and stuff part of the crazies? Or?
The bugs represent the unknown. They might, in fact, be bugs. You can use them that way, or they can just be something else that we're going to fill in. So they're meant to look creepy because they are.
Wait. I thought I saw a cemetery, but I must have read that wrong. Okay.
So you pick a place and say it's a cemetery.
Okay. She investigates a cemetery over here because she feels that in her research, she feels that some people might have been killed to bring it here.
Ooh. Pick a toy.
Alright.
Now you've just done something important. It doesn't have to follow what the last person said. You can switch toys. Or you could have gone and followed that up. You've got the policeman here, Burke.
Burke gets a call on the radio saying that fishermen in the river have been just disappeared. Boats are hitting the shores empty, attacked. He doesn't know what's going on, so him and his dog go to the river to investigate what's happening to the fishermen. He does not know that there's anything in there or not. He just knows what he's been told on his radio.
Alright.
Pick a toy. Jimmy.
Alright, so it is night out, and while at Fenway with his daughter, they were observing or watching the game, having a grand old time, father and daughter, and for whatever reason, his little girl disappears. So, being the frantic father that he is now searching the areas around and in Fenway.
So that's his daughter. Interesting. Now, I'm the host of the game, but I'm also a player. And there is, by the way, no game master in this game. I don't know any more of what's going to happen than you do. It will emerge as it comes up. So, let me see. I'm going to follow up on what you said. He sees his daughter off in the distance, and he runs after her, but she is frightened, and she runs away from him into the dark. Now, there's no order of play, so whoever wants to jump in next can jump in. As the host, I will just prompt you all by saying what happens next.
I'll continue up on the first story. On the graves of the people who have died in this related fashion to summon it, supposedly, she finds that one of them is this guy. So she heads over in this area. And this represents the unknown, you said?
Yeah.
I guess I'll just put that there as a plot point.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's looking at
Well, Renfield, he notices that she's coming, and he's crazy. He's in a straitjacket. He doesn't know if this woman is going to hurt him, offer him help, or anything. So he runs away over into the north end of Boston. But he leaves behind trails of just ominous feelings and dread behind him.
Alrighty. We have Greta. Let's see. Alright, Greta, being a natural-born thespian, enjoys her work in the theater. And recently, her shows used to be the talk of Boston. Packed theaters, packed with the highest names. But of recent, it's been getting smaller and smaller and smaller, called the crowds that come. But she always notices in the very back theater, there's a woman in a red dress. She's always watching, but she feels very unsettled by her. So one day after a show, she decides to tail her and follow.
Oh, I need to get you guys tickets. She's here to collect the tickets.
The generic.
Yeah, the tokens.
How much is it? One?
It's one. Yes, thank you. Forgot about that. I should have done that before. And the way she follows him is the same way that she is following him. By whenever you feel dread and despair, go into it. Whenever there's darkness that you realize you shouldn't go into, that's where you go. In other words, it's just like those horror movies when you see that door that you know they shouldn't open, but you know that's what they're going to do. That's how she does it.
Let's see. I'll have corner him at the edge there.
So she's on the coach with him.
Now, does this one get involved at all? Or?
This one is involved when you choose to. By the way, you can see it has a nasty looking face. This is it.
If we shall choose.
Entailing her, Sarah Michelle notices that she's being followed, decides to hide in the medical campus from Greta, who continues following her, not knowing that Sarah is lying in ambush, waiting to strike.
Alright. Meanwhile, up here in Harvard, Professor Howard is out for a walk, and he notices his old colleague, Vincent, wandering around in a daze. And he goes to follow him, catch up with him, and feels that same sense of dread and despair, but hasn't quite caught up to him yet.
Alright, then I will actually continue this story. As he's tailing him, he gets into almost earshot, or about earshot of him, and starts listening to him, and he hears him just muttering, "Don't want to do it. Don't want to do it." She's like, "I have to do it. I have to, but that would be bad. It would be very, very bad." And he notices a glimmer in the moonlight in his right hand, and sees what appears to be a revolver.
Now, as he's listening, he sees a mysterious man with a bottle named Bonbon creep out of the shadows. And he overhears, well, as he notices Bonbon appear, he decides to hide back, still within earshot. And he hears this strange man with this bottle saying, "You've prepared for this, we've talked. This is what it requires."
But he says it in a strong, fake German accent.
Alright, and Vincent's just sitting there like, but it is going to hurt a lot of people.
It, Bonbon continues, it will only hurt those that it requires for the feeding.
But who is required?
That we don't know. We will find out later once he comes. He will then let us know who we must round up. You know what you must do for it.
Let's see. I'm going to say these two have a conversation, and he tells her that